We're live, people. We're live. My name is Alam. This is another Toronto Hoop Talk live stream coming to you. I'm joining the game roughly less than 2.5 minutes into the first quarter. Canada up 2-0. Big matchup against Brazil. Interesting day of basketball today. I think we had an upset as Bruno Caboclo jacks up an outrageous three at the end of the shot clock. But yeah, I was looking at the results this morning. There were there was one that really surprised me, at least one. Uh, oh yeah, Latvia over Spain, and then Italy over Serbia. So it's a day of peculiar results. So Canada will surely be careful about getting this win, because this would be a big win, especially with Latvia getting the W on Spain. That would put us in a position where I believe we clinch. I think. Trying to think. We play Spain in the next game. So if Spain beats us and then Latvia beats Brazil, okay, maybe there's a chance we lose if we get blown out bad enough in that last game against Spain. But it puts us in a very strong position. So this is a big game, undoubtedly. Bruno Caboclo hit a three a few seconds ago to put Brazil up 3-2. The 2 years away from 2 years away has passed, people. So Bruno Caboclo has arrived. He is a serious player now, apparently. Not actually though. I don't think he's established himself too well overseas. Like, he's obviously a viable player, but just as I say that, and one Dwight Powell with Bruno committing the foul. But you can see Bruno Caboclo, he's not the skinny kid that the Raptors drafted. This guy is this guy's I mean, he went through the same diet plan that Giannis went through. So I don't know what position he plays on his team. It looks like he's one of their bigs, him and number 10. But surely we'll keep an eye out on Bruno to see how our old pal is doing. Dwight Powell heading to the free throw line for a chance to make it a 2-point game. He makes his free throw, 5-3 Canada with 7 minutes to go in the first. Same starting lineup as usual. So it looks like Brazil doesn't start Cristiano Felicio, which is one of the other players that I remember from Brazil. That pass is, or no, there's some type of turnover by Brazil. I don't know if it's a foul or a travel, but Canada gets the ball. Olenek taking the ball up the court, living out his prior life as a point guard. Olenek finding Dwight Powell at the basket for what seems to be an easy dunk, but Bruno actually flies in to get the block as a help defender. That's a great play. Bruno looking like a Robert Williams out here. Yeah, he's matched up against Dwight Powell. He is their center. Look at 5 Bruno. Honestly, it's funny watching Bruno right now. Oddly enough, he looks like what Masai was looking for from a center before Jakob Pertl. He looks very much like a Vision 6'9" center. From a profile standpoint, obviously not like an ability standpoint in terms of being good enough, but from his skill set, just being like, obviously he's going to be a better shooter than most fives in his league. He has the wingspan. He has the frame. Brazil gets a bucket to go at the basket off of a turnover. SGA taking the ball up the court. Misses the shot. Still 7-5 Brazil. Ooh, could have been a turnover there, but no Canada player was watching. A misplaced pass by number 10. Bruno Caboclo in the pick and roll as the roller getting the dunk. I think he has 7 of their 9 points. Yes, he does. He has 7 of their 9 points. Bruno is eating. People, this is the Bruno game. Damn. RJ, step back 3, miss. Can't get the rebound. Brazil going the other way. Obviously, a shaky start from Canada offensively. We have 5 points in the first 6 minutes, so shots got to start falling at some point. But also, it looks like we haven't got out of first gear as a team. Like we're kind of just sleepwalking through this first quarter. So I think that'll ramp up because it has when this happens often. Um, Dwight Powell took a mean elbow to the face while the Brazil player scored on him. But yeah, solid start from Brazil. It looks like they showed up hungry. They showed up looking to make the most of this opportunity, and Canada is showing up as if they're the better team and they'll just get the win. Which, for what it's worth, I still think will happen. But Brazil just made a free throw to make it 12-5. Brazil. Canada will surely look to get out of this slump. But I think it'll just happen as they wake up a bit. I still don't think being down 7 against Brazil is going to be something that really makes them panic at all. SGA goes to the lane, draws the foul. But in a way, maybe some panic would help. Maybe some panic will help jolt them into playing solid basketball. But so far, sloppy moments with turnovers, some bad shot making, Dwight Powell getting blocked at the rim. Just sloppy from Canada to start. SGA inbounding the ball, 14 seconds left on the shot clock. Dwight Powell gets the inbounds pass, gives it back to SGA. Pick and roll with Dwight Powell, gets the foul at the basket. So this is a sensible way, I think, to steady the ship is SGA getting to the free throw line because all tournament on drives, he's managed to get fouls. And that's just what he does. It's very much a part of his game with his ability to play at his own tempo, his dribbling ability, how smooth he is. He's somebody that tends to in the lane when people reach, he tends to be the quicker person at reacting and he'll dribble the ball the way he needs to where when you're reaching, you're not getting the ball. You're either swiping at air or you're fouling him. So he's winning either way. So I've seen SGA get to the free throw line consistently all tournament when driving to the lane. And I think that it would be smart for that to be the kind of the plan to just steady the ship a little bit and get a little bit of Canada's rhythm back before we get to start doing the other things you'll see Canada do, which is like shoot a bunch of threes or force the issue at the basket a little bit. Because like that Bruno block on Dwight Powell, to be honest, was nasty because he flew in from like nowhere. It seemed like Dwight Powell had an open dunk, but alas, he did not. 12-7 Brazil with 3:10 to go. Brazil dribbling out the shot clock. Gonna have to just jack up a terrible 3. Almost made it. Bruno he got his hand on the ball to get the rebound, but ultimately he tipped it out. Lou Dort subbed in, people. Lou Dort subbed in for, I think, RJ. I don't know if RJ picked a foul up or something, but that's the sub that happened. Nikhil Alexander-Walker also checked in for Kelly Olynyk, and he shows up and hits a 3, people. And if you've been watching this watch-along or watched any of my FIBA content, I've always talked about Nikhil Alexander-Walker's ability to hit a timely 3. There's just something about it. When the game feels like it needs Canada needs something, Nikhil Alexander-Walker shooting a 3 and making it is not a far-fetched thing. That happens a lot. Brazil again dribbling out the shot clock. Guy has to take a sidestep mid-range shot on Dwight Powell, and to his credit, makes the shot. Tough shot for Mendel. SGA would taking the ball the other way. Finds Dwight Powell as the roll man. Kicks it to the corner to Nikhil. Nikhil kind of doesn't do the best of dealing with his closeout. Finds Lou Dort in the corner. Lou Dort hits a 3. So the 2 bench substitutions hitting 3s to to help bring Canada back into this game, doing their jobs well and ultimately reflecting well on Jordy's substitutions. The substitutions had to be made the way Canada was starting out, but to see an impact that quickly and that efficiently is really nice. Offensive foul on Brazil. One of their bigs couldn't quite set a good screen on Nikhil, so he kind of had to flare his arms out, his elbows out to get Nikhil, and that is not in the rules. So Canada ball down one with a chance to take the lead back early. I think Canada had 5 points in their first 6 minutes, and now in the last 2 minutes and a half have 8 points. So quick turnaround, people. SGA went to the rim and got blocked. Brazil with the ball back, 1:20 to go, 14-13 Brazil. Melvin Ejim is in the game. Oh, Kelly Olynyk, terrible defensive possession there. Completely got beat by a spin move. Olynyk going around his screen, finds a nothing, passes to SGA, who passes to Dort. Nikhil from 3 gets blocked. Okay, good couple defensive possessions from Brazil there. They really dug their heels in on those last 2 possessions, getting 2 blocks, one on the perimeter, one at the rim. I don't know, obviously, who Brazil subbed on, but I think they made a substitution after Canada made a bit of a run, and that helped out a little bit. So Mendel, deep 3 over Olynyk, misses. Nikhil with the rebound, going the other way, passes it to SGA, who slows things down. Final possession of the first quarter, people. 16-13 Brazil, 12 seconds to go. SGA will dribble it out and get the last shot. Olynyk comes to set a screen, doesn't set a screen, pops. Nikhil in the corner, misses the 3. 16-13 people. Brazil with a 3-point lead at the end of the first. Shaky start from Canada, but they started to find their footing towards the end of the first quarter. And so far, I don't look at Brazil as overly threatening as an opponent, but obviously, and this is what you expect from anybody at this stage of the tournament. They're a tough team. They're gritty. They're trying hard. They're going to play hard. I think that they are basically in a must-win situation. I think if they lose, they're next to eliminated. So look, you're getting a gritty team with their back against the wall. This is what you should expect. And to Canada's credit, like I said, they didn't let the slow start end in like a insurmountable deficit. The deficit was only at 7 at worst. It didn't get to 20 like we saw in the first Germany friendly, or even I think against France, the worst it got was also around 7. So I think Canada did a good job of just hanging in there. Like I said, I think the turnaround started with SGA getting to the free throw line, kind of just steadying the game a little bit, and then Lou Dort and Nikhil hit the 2 threes. And that's the game, people. 16-13. Shout out to everybody watching live. You guys are much appreciated. I say this stuff a lot, but viewers of content on YouTube, you guys have the ability to make YouTube channels bigger. So by staying engaged, that's how you guys prompt YouTube's algorithm to push the content to more people on YouTube. So leaving comments, being active in the chat, subscribing to the channel, liking the videos, these are all kinds of things that prompts YouTube's algorithm to make the content available to other people, to show it on their feeds. So if you guys enjoy what's going on, if you guys are enjoying the content, make sure you support the way you can. People, the content is free, but you can pay your rent in the form of the like button. And also just get active in the chat, because there's always breakages in play here during timeouts, during halftime, during commercials, where, look, we got to have something to talk about. So if you guys have anything you want to talk about, it could be basketball Canada related, it could be NBA related, whatever it is, I'm here for all of it. The game is resuming. Lou Dort inbounds to Nikhil, 16-13 still, of course. Turnover by Nikhil. Bruno with the steal. Bruno going to the basket. Bruno getting the finish. Bruno's really like their best player. And he's not even like failing in that role. Like, Canada is obviously a very tough matchup, and he's off to a very strong start. in the breaking quarter, they put Scrub in, who got to the basket and got a bucket to fall. Look at Scrub. Look at Scrub. Olenek is the only starter on the court, so you have him at the 5, Edgem at the 4, and then Lou Dort, Nikhil, and Scrub as your perimeter players. Lou Dort with he swiped on the ball. He swiped at the ball against somebody, and I thought that he did a good job there. But I thought he got the ball, but they called a foul, so we'll see. Who is that foul on? Eh? Are they shooting free throws now? Nope, they're just inbounding from a different location. Olenek out there looking like food defensively. He stepped up to his man, who then promptly blew by him. Unfortunately, he did nothing with it. Olenek in transition with a pull-up deep 3. Gets it to fall. 18-18. Tell us how you feel, Kelly. Wow. That was audacious, especially just after making a mistake to just be like, you know what? Screw it. 30-footer. And to hit it too. But bro, this is what Kelly Olynyk does. Very, very interesting player, very unique skill set. But that was a hell of a make there. Brazil making some substitutions. There's a guy with a creepy mustache entering the game. Super suspect looking guy. Let's hope he's trash. Olynyk guarding the point guard, like out of the inbounds play, which is weird. Maybe what they're trying to do there is they're trying to have 2 bigs on the pick and roll, but the point guard just blew by Kelly. I think earlier in the game, Brazil was getting some joy from a pick and roll between their point guard and Bruno. So they put Edgem on Bruno, which is R4, and Kelly Olynyk on the point guard, so that if they do the pick and roll, it's big on big, so there's no small matchup for Bruno. But then the point guard just blew by Kelly Olynyk, and that's 2 possessions in a row that he's been blown by. Canada got the bucket as I was saying that. So it's tied again. That's an interesting wrinkle tactically from Jordy, which I like. It's interesting and creative, but I don't think it'll work if Kelly Olynyk can't keep his man in front of him, and he's shown that he can't. Brazil gets the bucket to fall. On that action, they went away from Bruno because maybe they look at the pick and roll with Bruno as not as beneficial if they can't get that mismatch on a smaller player. Lou Dort and 1. Whoa. Why is he complaining? Okay, yeah, of course. Why would he be complaining? He got the call there. Somebody zipped a pass into Dort in the corner. I think that was Nikhil, but that was a good pass. That was a very good pass. Getting this breakfast in, people. That's an audacious pull-up 3 from Brazil, but he missed, and Bruno got the rebound. Wow. He got the offensive rebound, missed, got the next offensive rebound, and missed again. Second one was like a missed dunk. So, look, man, Bruno, can't let your country down like that. Canada goes down to the other end and misses their own shot. Now looking at that's two guards on this possession of guarded Bruno. Nikhil started out the possession on Bruno, and then Lou Dort switched on to him. So we are making this is a very different approach now, because I think the only logical way to make Kelly Olynyk on a point guard makes sense is that you don't want to have a small person on Bruno in the pick and roll because it was working earlier. But then they put guards on Bruno purposely. So maybe the whole thing is like, let's not incentivize them to run pick and rolls and get switches. Let's just make them go one for one, make you score in a normal setting. And I mean, obviously, I think it worked, but we've thrown some curveballs at Brazil now with our defensive scheme. It's been interesting. Lou Dort, corner three. 4-point lead now, 26-22, 6:20 left in the second. Bruno now being guarded by Dwight Powell. I think right now the matchups look kind of traditional. Maybe it's a Dwight Powell thing. Maybe it's like if we can put Dwight Powell on him, great. But if not, we're not going to put Kelly Olynyk on him. Deep three from Brazil. Big miss. RJ, the rebound starts the fast break. RJ going the other way. Slows the possession down. Takes a sidestep jumper. Misses the shot. Three-point shot from Brazil falls. The lead cut down to 1. 5:23 to go in the second. SGA takes the falling mid-range shot. Almost falls. Doesn't quite fall. Gets knocked down. Probably looking for a call there. Brazil now, point guard going aggressively to the basket. Dwight Powell with a great possession defensively. SGA finds Dort in the corner again. He takes the same shot that he just made, misses. SGA with the offensive rebound, and then gets fouled shooting the basketball. So 2 free throws from SGA, and then a foul on Iago dos Santos. I think that's one of Brazil's main offensive initiators, even though I haven't seen much from him today, but I heard about him being, I think, their dangerous point guard. Showing crowd shots of the passionate Brazilian fans. I wish that this tournament was a little bit more reachable for Canadian fans, because I think Canadian fans would show out if this was like kind of in our locale. Like even if this was from, I would extend it from obviously Canada to South America that way, and then Canada to Europe the other way, right? I think anything in that zone, Canadian fans would show up for, and I think Canadian fan support would be uh, a pretty big advantage in the stadium, just because like Canadians are very passionate sports fans. We saw it with the men's soccer team. We've seen it with the women's soccer team. We've seen it with many sporting events. Just anytime the hockey team is playing, if Canadian sports teams are playing, the fans are raucous. So, a bit of a shame that we can't get a decent amount of fans out there, but obviously that is a very far part of the world for Canadians to get to. That's not accessible for most people. Sloppy defensive possession there. Easy layup for Brazil. SGA with the ball going around the screen. Lou Dort with another three. This guy's hunting his shot today after his first make. Now 2 misses. Ball falls to Dylan Brooks. Kicks it to Dwight Powell. Little dish to SGA, who then goes around Dwight Powell like a screen and hits a three. 31-27. Now 7 points for SGA. 5 points in the last couple possessions. And people, this is what has been going on with SGA. Typically a slow start in the first quarter, kind of gets a feel for the game, and then just starts to get going in the second, and things just go up from there. So he had 2 points probably before, he had 2 points before the last 2 to 3 possessions, and now all of a sudden he's up to 7, and I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes with like 12 by halftime. And then second half, Brazil, watch out. Watch out. So that's how it is, people. That's how it is. SGA special player. We always dig ourselves a hole. This is big facts. This is big facts. Um, this is what it is though. Like I'm sure you've been watching the whole game. They just showed up and started sleepwalking at the beginning of the game. It's not like Brazil, I think, did anything meaningful. It was Bruno Caboclo that was doing the damage against us. But yeah, man, shout out Kenyan Basketball Rewind people. This is a channel where he does content. He does great work. If you're watching this not live, if you're watching this on replay, go to Basketball Rewind. Check out what he's got going on over there. Um, but yeah, I just think that like the thing is like the trouble, like the reality is, I'm pretty sure they show up to these games knowing we're better than this team. Like we don't have to approach this game with urgency. We'll figure it out. I hope that's not how they show up against America. Or even Germany, to be honest, because we've seen what Germany can do to us. So against all teams, to be like all like respectable teams, I'm just hoping that the mentality of, hey, we're actually going up against a team that can do real damage to us makes them approach the game differently. But we'll see what happens. 31-27, Bruno smacked Kelly Olynyk in the face. And I think they're reviewing, like, I don't know what, if they do flagrant ones and twos the way they do in the NBA? If so, flagrant two, outright eject him. Get rid of Brazil's best player. Nah, it's not a flagrant two, but that would be funny. But yeah, I remember Kenyon during the last game, you joined and early on when we were losing against Latvia, and then right before halftime, you were like, "Hey, what went on? I had to go," and I was like, "Yeah, we're up now," and that's just how it goes. That's how it goes against France. Same story. Obviously, against Lebanon, that wasn't gonna happen, but it's what we do. This is what we do. We show up, we sleepwalk through games, and then end of the second quarter, that's when it's time to really bury teams, and that's what happens. They are. It is hilarious how they're just showing consistently, like on loop, Kelly Olynyk getting smacked in the face. It's funny, like it just looks like some Looney Tunes shit because the way he dramatically falls and hits the floor. Let me see what they're saying on Twitter. What are they reviewing for? Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, people, if you guys know what can and do they review for? Do they do flagrant ones and twos? Do they just do outright ejections or normal fouls? What is this? All I know is we're going to be getting free throws and extending this lead. So I'm happy enough with that. He's holding his wrist. He's showing Bruno's number. It doesn't look like Bruno got ejected. He didn't, which is the right thing. But look, man, Bruno, you can't be hitting our players in the face like that. Olynyk looks like he's shooting technical free throws. One shot goes in. Just prepping up to do an upload. So you heard it, people. You see it right there. Upload coming. Tune in. So they called an unsportsmanlike foul, which again I don't know what the equivalent of that is. Like maybe flagrant one. (33-27) after the two free throws. Always, man, always. Man, I'm definitely been enjoying these FIBA watch-alongs. SGA makes his shot after the free throw. So people, 8-point lead. Brazil takes a timeout, and this is just how it goes. People, shaky first quarter, end of the second quarter. It's time to make the game look like what it should look like. Finally, a crowd shot of a Canadian fan. It's been 5 games or 4 games. 5 games? No, 4 games. 4 games. 4 games when we finally get a Canadian fan in the crowd on camera. You get free throws and a possession. Okay, cool. But yeah, we got that. We made the most of it. 4 points there from that smack in the face from Bruno. And we're in good shape, people. Up 8. Brazil looks rattled. Brazil looks like they don't really have a lot of answers to what we're doing. I think basically once we started throwing random shit defensively against the Bruno pick and rolls, that stopped working. And I don't really think they have anything else that's like their bread and butter. And then for us offensively, like, I don't know, we just started playing basketball properly. It's not like early in the game Brazil was necessarily stopping us. We just weren't playing basketball properly. I wouldn't even say we're making shots at a particularly high rate. We're just starting to like actually create good looks now. And then obviously the big thing is like our best player steps into the game around this time of the game. Like this is when SGA gets going, and that's when things open up for us as a team as a whole. So 8-point lead, 2:45 to go. Brazil out here. Kelly Olynyk again guarding ball handlers. This is a hilarious thing that's been happening in this game. Where's Bruno? Bruno's not on the court. Cool. Kelly Olynyk's man takes a pull-up three that he has no interest in contesting, and he misses. SGA goes the other way. SGA getting into the lane. Crafty little way of getting his shot off, and he gets a default. 10-point lead, people. So yeah, SGA. Like, what did I say about SGA? Well, like after this whole start, like he'll probably find a way to get 12. Even though I think he had 2 points up until like halfway through the second, like he'll find a way to get to 12. And second half, watch out. Brazil misses the shot. They get the offensive rebound. The guy saves the ball from going out of bounds. Dylan Brooks gets blown by and then commits a foul. Don't need to be doing that. The real question is, was the foul a play on the ball or not? Oh yeah, on the smack. That's the thing of like it's a it. If you watch that and you know what you're looking at, that's not a play on the ball, but it's a way of like swinging at the other player. Like it takes advantage of the gray area pretty well. Like you can't tell me for sure that I'm not making a play on the ball, but like the way he did that, it's like you're not actually making a play. Like you can't. That's not gonna result in actually getting the ball. That's either gonna smack Olynyk or do nothing. So like it's one of those things where take advantage of the gray area and just like hit somebody. Brazil making some subs. The guy with the creepy mustache is gone. I don't think he did anything during his minutes. Olynyk, Olynyk again guarding the ball handler. Olynyk is guarding what I believe is their point guard. I don't know if he's a point forward. He's not particularly big either. Olynyk is just out here guarding ball handlers, and Brazil's offense is not functioning. This is hilarious. He got blown by a couple times, but I think those were like the 2 times that I pointed out as it happened were the only times it resulted in points. But that's just so funny. Like of all this, like we have Lou Dort, we have Dylan Brooks. But you know what? Kelly Olynyk, go guard the initiator of offense. Now they got the ball in somebody else's hands. Now they have the ball in Yago's hands. Yago dos Santos, guarded by RJ Barrett, who's like a lot bigger than he is. Then he gets switched on to Kelly Olynyk gets switched on to him. That was a very switchy possession there. A bunch of guys guarded a bunch of different people, and Brazil dribbled the shot clock out. Shot clock violation. 37-27. Brazil is faltering, people. Let me check in on some of the other games. That's actually what I'll do at halftime. Like we'll just go through the results of the day pertaining to other teams and what that looks like for Canada as a whole. I think that's a good way to spend the time. I just saw a result that I think is pretty crazy. Puerto Rico beating the Dominican Republic. What? Offensive foul on SGA? Huh? What is this? Okay. Oh, the elbow. Whatever. Like you can call that if you want to. I feel like that's the thing that doesn't get called ever, but like you can call it technically. 33 seconds to go. Timeout Brazil. They probably get their last shot of the half. They're going to try to want to make the most of it. Canada up 10 after being down 7 early. Um they're in a position where if they win this, like I said, the ramifications are they're basically clinched. For them to not make the knockouts after winning today, I think, because I don't know if head to head is the tiebreaker or if point differential is the tiebreaker, but I feel like point differential would be. So they would have to lose against Spain, and then Latvia would have to beat Brazil, and then the point difference would have to be caught up on. Now, mind you, Canada has an outrageous point difference because they smoked everybody in the group stage. No, they just smoked everybody generally, right? So, like, Canada would probably have to lose by like 50 to Spain in the process of that happening. So, it's not going to happen. If we win this, we're in the knockouts. We'll sort this all out at halftime, people. So, if you're tuning in right now, make sure you stick around for the halftime show because we're going to sort the tournament out as a whole. We're going to sort out what the situation for our positioning in the group looks like, what that means for the knockout rounds, who the likely opponents look like. We're going to get into all this stuff, people. So definitely stay tuned. The Toronto Hoop Talk halftime show, first ever, is coming to you. Again, Kelly Olynyk guarding the point guard or the initiator of the offense. Brazil gets a decent 3 out of it and missed a shot. Oh, this is another ramification that I didn't even consider, but it's a real thing. Hold up. Last shot, 6 seconds to go. SGA kicks it to RJ, shoots the 3. Kelly Olynyk with the offensive rebound, and that was Dwight Powell, and he got the shot up. And they could have called the foul if they wanted to, but they didn't. Anyways, 10-point lead, people. As Kenyon says here, if we take out Brazil, it means we are one step closer to being top 2 in the Americas. So for the people that don't know, in this tournament, there are 7 teams from the Americas, North, South, Central America. The top 2 of those 7 teams will get automatic Olympic qualification. The ones who don't have to get qualification from a separate tournament, which is by no means a guaranteed thing because you have to outright win that tournament. There's no option to finish second or third, right? It's a very high stakes thing. So finishing top 2 is a pretty important thing. If we knock out Brazil, that's another team knocked out. I believe 2 teams have been knocked out already. So there's 2 teams out of 7 that we're going to finish better than. This would be 3. That would leave 4 teams to compete against for those top 2 spots, which I believe the 4 teams would be Canada, US, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico. As of right now, it looks like Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, somebody's going to knock the other team out. As I was mentioning, as I saw it, Puerto Rico beat the Dominican Republic, so I believe they're both 3-1 now, which means I think one of them will likely not make it. I don't know if both of them will make it. Clay is thinking of playing for the Bahamas next year. Do they have DeAndre Ayton? And I think there's somebody else. Is it there's another Buddy Hield. If they put out Buddy Hield, Clay, and DeAndre Ayton, that's actually a pretty cool lineup. I don't know how good the team will be, but that would be a fun lineup. But yeah, let me pull up all the relevant info, people. Give me the groups. Oh, they have Gordon too. I totally forgot about Gordon. That's a lineup, and there's 3s there. There are threes in that team. Okay. So, StreamYard. Let me share my screen. Okay, so this is where we're at, people. These are the groups as of now. I'll zoom in so that we can get a better look at this stuff. We'll just start off with the Canadian group. So Canada, if they get the win as expected, that puts us at 4-0, would put us at the top of the group with a huge advantage in point differential, right? So if at 4-0, if we lose that last matchup against Spain, which would make us both 4-1, and then Latvia gets the win against Brazil to make them 4-1, I think for us to not make it, this point differential would have to not work in our favor. What this means is that Spain would have to beat it, like they would have to 30 us, and Latvia would probably have to beat Brazil by 100. So mathematically, not possible. I don't think. Oh wow, I didn't realize that this was not even showing the part of the screen that I wanted to show. But yeah, so yeah, what you can see there is like, yeah, if Canada goes 3-0, sorry, 4-0, the point differential over here is 111 for us right now. Let's say we win by 15, that puts it at what, 126. So now if Spain wants to catch up to us, they have to beat us by 30. If Latvia wants to catch up, they have to beat Brazil by 100. It's not happening. So a win here effectively gets us advanced. And then the other thing to watch out is that finishing first gets us playing the second team from this group. So Germany and Slovenia will play on Sunday. So the people that have been enjoying watching these games, that's a big matchup. Uh, from just generally, like those are two good teams, especially with Luca coming back today. Kenyon, I don't know if you saw, but Luca, he was doing Luca stuff today, right? So he's on that team. We're going to be playing the loser of that matchup. That's something to watch, definitely for scouting purposes. And then this group, this is interesting from America's qualification standpoint because it looks like the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico are the two competitive teams competing, and Puerto Rico won. So this whole group is 3-1. The entire group is 3-1. One more when it's up. Kenyon, what's the tiebreaker in the groups first? Is it point differential or is it head to head? Because if it's head to head, then we're like clinched like guaranteed, right? If it's point differential, then like it's realistically clinched. Like Latvia is not gonna win by 100. Okay, so then it must be head to head. Head to head must be like the main tiebreaker. I'll confirm this. I'll confirm this in a bit. But yeah, this is an interesting group right here. The last set of games will mean a lot. You know what actually means? We'll get to it now. FIBA World Cup group tiebreakers. Let's see. Hold up. The hell? Okay, no word of what the tiebreaker is. Because honestly, that's hold up. This is from a 2014 Reddit thread. Game results between tied teams. Wait, what? Goal average between game. Oh, that would be a point differential. So it is head to head. This game's between teams concerned. Higher. Okay, got it. Got it. Cool. 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 Um. So in this group, those results today for Italy and Puerto Rico were massive because the fact that they got wins against those teams going into these last games, and then I'm curious as to who the other head to head matchups would the advantages would be. So I think what is it? I think Dominican Republic would have the head-to-head against Italy, and then Serbia against Puerto Rico. Oh yeah. No, that's the thing. So we have the head-to-head on Latvia, and we have the head-to-head on like Brazil won't be able to catch us. So yeah, it's clinched that we finish at the top. It's just I think technically, hold up, so Spain is 3-1. We'd be 4-0. So I guess if Spain beats us, they could get the first spot, but we're clinched regardless as first or second. Okay, let's see what it is. Is it the bracket on this website? Because the bracket on this website's been ass. Or is it the thing on Google? Because uh, so I know if you go to games, no, hold up, huh? Is it this one? Yeah, we're Group L. No, yeah, I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah, looking at these groups, they need to update these results because I think Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic has been done for a while. Lithuania against Greece, I think it should be around finished now. I think, yeah, 1 minute to go in that game. Lithuania getting a blowout, people. So on this side of the bracket, it's going to be very unpredictable because this group is going to be lined up with this group, right? But this one is unpredictable because this group is entirely up in the air. Entirely up in the air. It'll come down to that last round of games, which is uh which will be Dominican Republic against Serbia and Puerto Rico against Italy. Essentially win and you're in. So those are two like eliminate knockout games early. I I won't be getting up for Italy, Puerto Rico, unfortunately. Shout out to Nico though, because like that'll be something that I'm sure he would want to watch. I don't know if he'll be able to wake up, but I think he should. Dominican Republic against Serbia. That might be one to watch. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I know it's ridiculous how this setup is. Like it's definitely ridiculous. We'll go back. It's stupid how they set it up, but yeah, L1 plays K. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah, yeah. Like I know we match up against basically like it's the uh one from here plays two from here, two from here plays one from here. It's a funny thing though because like when does Germany and Slovenia play that day? They play 7:10. Oh, that game will be over. So like I don't think this would happen because I don't think like athletes at the top level think this way. But like what if the team finishes first? Like what if the team that they want to play wins that game and finishes first and then Canada's like, "You know what? Fuck it. Let's just lose against Spain and get that matchup." Like obviously I know it won't happen, but that is like, something to wonder from a fan perspective, especially if you have a preference for who you'd rather want to play. I know Kenyon mentioned at some point, I'm more afraid of Germany than Slovenia. Slovenia, obviously, I think just got Luka back today, and he looked good. But also, like that's I don't think as deep of a team as Germany. Like Germany plays as a team, and a lot of the times, like teams are more dangerous when you have a unit of guys that play well and play well together. Slovenia is just a team that's being carried by a guy. And to be fair, like as much as dangerous as Luca is, like we have SGA, right? Like it's a situation where we have more to bother Luca than they have to bother SGA, probably. So So I mean, like, I kind of agree with Kenyon. I've seen what Germany can do to Canada, and I'd rather play Slovenia. So from this standpoint, what happens if Slovenia wins that game and Luka just has an all timer? Now you're looking at it like, huh? Do I even want Canada to win at that point? Oh yeah. No, yeah, they have their little squad, like their little core of NBA guys, and then they have guys that complement them really well. But yeah, so Lithuania gets this W. They go to 4-0. I'm assuming USA beats them, and then that group is fairly like self-explanatory. But it's the other one up there. It's Group I. This is where the matchups are going to be interesting on the last day. Um, I think ultimately with that side, let me see. Hold up. Let's go to the brackets. So if let's assume Canada, which was sorry, what group? They're Group L. Let's assume they're L1. If they're L1, they're set for a semifinal matchup against J1 and I2. Sorry, J1 and I2 would be what? J1, okay, USA probably. I2 could be any team. So like let's just assume that USA gets the job done. That's a semifinal matchup. So then again, professional athletes don't think this way. This is not on them to think like that. But from a fan standpoint, maybe I want to finish second and see USA in the final. One, because the vibes would be outrageous. Two, because USA being the final matchup gives us like a more opportunity to finish ahead of teams like in the Americas for Olympic qualification. And then just generally the vibes of Canada versus US in the finals would actually just be so much better. So again, it's like as a fan, I'm not even exactly sure what I'm cheering for here. um 1 second, people, I gotta get my charger. I just realized this computer is about to die. Me and showing up to streams with my laptop on like 20% battery and no charger. Name a more iconic duo. But yeah, people, game started up 9:06. At the 9:06 mark in the third, Brazil inbounding the ball down 9. I must have missed a Canadian free throw and a Brazilian basket. Bruno trying to bully his way around the rim. Dwight Powell gets called with the foul. That doesn't look right to me. I don't think that was a foul, but it is what it is. Bruno needed the bailout. He slipped on his own. Okay, I lied. I saw on that angle. Dwight Powell swiped at the ball. It is what it is. But I mean, yeah, like go Italy and Serbia in those two matchups, get the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico eliminated, and then Canada gets the Olympic qualification. The game is the game. I got love for you, Nico, but bro, I need that Olympic qualification spot. 38-31. Canada with the ball. I don't think Dylan Brooks has a basket yet today. Ball gets kicked to SGA from 3. We need a Dylan Brooks basket. I think he deserves it. I also think for what it's worth, the beginning of second halves is when you've seen him make a couple shots. But yeah, it's his turn to chip in. Get your little 8 points, and then we can get back to the SGA show. 3-point shot missed by RJ. Iago dos Santos gets to the basket, kind of weary of Kelly Olynyk's size, and rushes a bit of a push shot and misses. Dylan Brooks to the basket, almost gets the layup to fall. Dwight Powell should have had the rebound, but I thought he was pushed out of bounds. They did not call a foul, excuse me. But yeah, I thought for a second as he was driving, I was like, there it is. There's the Dylan Brooks basket, but he just couldn't get the layup to fall. It's a pretty awkward layup. Got it off at an awkward angle. Really, really random. Just because I was like, because Dylan Brooks was there, like trying to make a layup. Brazil's uniforms do look like Oregon Ducks uniforms. I've never put those two things together, but they are pretty similar. What the hell? Okay, Brazil missed a shot. Dylan Brooks found Kelly Olynyk that was leaking out in transition. Pass was bad, made Kelly Olynyk slow down, who missed a layup on a 1-on-2 fast break, but then SGA cleaned it up and got the dunk. Brazil goes down to the other end and hits a 3, so it's a 6-point game, and then SGA finds his shot around the baseline in the mid-range. 8-point game, people. 7 minutes to go. 15 points for SGA now. Where's Bruno? At this point onwards, I'm just going to be mindful of all the different bodies guarding Bruno because it just seems like they're switching everything. But on that possession, Dylan Brooks and SGA, they're really throwing different things at him. Wow. Okay, another possession where Canada concedes like 2 offensive rebounds and Brazil gets a basket. Dylan Brooks shoots a 3 the other way, misses. On that last possession there, I think Bruno, he may have got hit on the face. And then he dropped and hit the ground like he hit like Olynyk did when he smacked Olynyk. I think he was trying to get that call back. Pull up 3 from Brazil and a miss. But now a foul on Powell again underneath the basket on Caboclo. How is this happening? This is my question. How is Bruno actually just bullying him this badly? Like, is this big of a physical matchup? That is a terrible call. I just saw another angle. That's an awful call. He did nothing but stand his ground. Bruno was like the initiator of the contact there. That's bad. But unfortunately, Brazil misses. We go the other way. Kelly Olynyk finding SGA. SGA, ISO Bruno gets by him, stumbles in the lane, kicks it to Olynyk at the 3-point line, who drives, kicks it back to SGA. Looks like the second defender is waiting for him. Sidestep 3, falls short. Dwight Powell can't quite get the offensive rebound. Well, that should be a charge. Did they call a block there? Dylan Brooks, I thought, did a good job of getting in position. Apparently not. That's 4 fouls on Dylan Brooks. That should have been a charge. That should have been a charge. It's all good though. It's all good though. Battling through some ref adversity builds character. This is a part of the game. Bruno with the ball kicks it to number 32, who kicks it to number 9, who kicks it to 14. No, 11. Misses the 3. SGA tips the rebound to RJ. Canada going the other way. Don't have the numbers in the fast break. The possession slows down and finds SGA. SGA isoing somebody with much slower feet than him. Draws 2 defenders, kicks to Nikhil in the corner. That's cash, right? No, it's not. He misses. Dwight Powell, the only one under the rim battling for the rebound. And honestly, I thought he got fouled there. That's a pretty similar kind of contact than what how Bruno got hit underneath the rim to get 2 calls. But he didn't get either. The Latvian team was complaining that we had a ref advantage because I saw the coach was saying it's unfair that Canada gets refed by American officials, and I'm like, do you think American officials would want Canada to win? Let's forget that like Olympic qualification is a competitive thing between the two nations, and if anything, there's a sporting rivalry between the two nations. But like, if I was refereeing America, would I want them to win? I would be completely neutral. I would not give a shit about who wins. That's crazy. Nikhil in transition to Olenek, who attempts a lob pass to Dwight Powell when that's not there at all. That was a bad decision. That was a very bad decision. That was Olenek living out his point guard dreams there. But you're not nice like that, bro. You're not nice like that. Is that another foul? Bruh. What are we doing? It's just bitterness. It's like, it's the most petty and like petulant form of bitterness. It's one of those situations where you hear something like that and you're just like, have some more shame. Shame is free. Shame is very accessible. You should get some. It's one of those things, man. Latvia. And that's the thing, too, is like the way Latvia was playing, I kind of respected it. Like, I like a couple of their players who I didn't know before. But then I heard the coach talking like that, and I was like, that's annoying. That's very annoying. Yeah, and to the people who maybe didn't hear about what happened and are seeing this comment fresh, right? He was not saying like, because Kenyan says ref advantage based on where they're from, and you might think that means, oh, Canadian referees were officiating, and that's what makes the comment crazier. No, it was American referees. The guy thinks we have some type of continental union and bond that was just like undying. I think the two teams traded baskets, so it's still a 6-point game, 44-38. 3:06 left in the second. Sidestep 3 in the third. Sidestep 3 from Brazil. Misses. Ball goes out of bounds. Canada gets the ball. I think Lou Dort got subbed in during the last timeout. In the first quarter or the first half, the subs did result in a run immediately. I think Nikhil has been on before this, but Nikhil and Lou Dort together, hopefully that engineers a bit of a run. Deep 3 by Lou Dort, and he makes it. God damn! Checks into the game, hunts a deep 3, and makes it. That's 2 threes from Lou Dort today. I think he shot like 4. He's been aggressive with shooting threes, but that's our first 3 of the quarter they're showing. We're 1 for 7. So that makes sense. I didn't feel like we shot 7, but now that I think about it, Nikhil did miss 2 in like 20 seconds. SGA missed 1, I think. Okay, SGA ISO number 11, step back 3, hits it, 50 to 40, 18 points from SGA. 10-point game, 2 minutes to go. Oh, Bruno pick and roll. Bruno gets it looks like the lane is open for him to throw down a dunk. And guess who gets the block coming from the weak side as a defender? Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander out here blocking shots from the weak side like Giannis. My goodness. Wow. The guy risked getting dunked on to do that too, because like you're 6'5", you go up to block Bruno Caboclo, you could get banged on. Okay, I saw the referees huddled together and I was like, no way did you call this a foul. No way did you call this a foul. But the mesh on the rim is messed up and somebody has to come fix it. But wow. That was phenomenal. That was amazing. You love to see stuff like that. People that are hoopers offensively making defensive plays, it gasses me up differently. I love to see it. It's such a convenient and easy thing to not do as a player who has offensive ability, because honestly, nobody will question you if you take plays off and if you kind of have just bad body language and you don't do your thing on the defensive end. When you see a guy hustling like that to make a defensive play up 10 in a situation where the game relatively is in like control, no, it's amazing. It's amazing that really makes SGA endeared to you differently. Anyways, commercial break, people, as they fix the mesh. I don't even know what happened because the shot wasn't even taken on that basket to result in that. And also, like, is it that big of a deal if a part of the mesh is not hooked to the rim? Does it have to be this? Can you not just play the game and then during the break between quarters deal with this? But whatever, they'll cause a breakage in play. And we'll look at the matchups. So for the Sunday games, obviously we talked about Italy, Puerto Rico, DR against Serbia, Slovenia against Germany. This game and this game. So Greece, Montenegro, USA, Lithuania. This game is useless, I think. No, I lied. No, yeah, this game is useless. This game is like a thing for positioning, but like they might not take it that seriously. And then the two games that I'm missing from all of this are what? Australia, Georgia. I think just Australia, Georgia, because Australia, Georgia would be this matchup. Okay, so that's useless as well. Damn, Australia's out of it. Damn. It changes how it swishes. The splash zone won't be the same. I mean, I guess, yeah, for sure. Like the SGA step backs. Well, I mean, actually no. Oh, it's on the Brazil basket. Man, nobody's splashing from that team anyways, man. Bruno posting up RJ gets swiped by Nikhil. Gets the ball back, is posting up RJ again. Post game looking stiff as hell. Misses the shot. SGA gets the rebound, is getting pressed full court. That's not a smart idea. I mean, if somebody's going to get through the press, it's probably SGA. Consequently, gets fouled by number 8. Oh, it's the creepy mustache guy. Yeah, the creepy mustache guy got the foul. Olynyk beats Caboclo, gets to the basket, draws another foul. So Brazil's racking up fouls to end this quarter. The matchup against Spain should be fun. That's 4 fouls on Bruno. Yeah, the matchup against Spain should be fun as a tune-up game, for sure. Game resumes. They're showing that we're 11 for 12 from the free throw line today, but our average is like 13 for 21. Have we been shooting free throws that bad? Come to think of it, I remember some RJ misses, but it hasn't felt like it's been that bad. I think they showed that that's about 65%. Nikhil in the corner misses a three. So he made the three initially when we needed it, but then he's been missing beyond that. So it is what it is. Floater by Yago. 52 to 42. Where's Bruno? He's not on the court. Against France, I was thinking about Gobert-less minutes. I wasn't really thinking about it anything like that against Latvia. But yo, I'm really looking at this Brazil team like, yo, these are the Bruno-less minutes. Oh, go get buckets now. Like, go extend the lead. It's not like Bruno was like some immovable force, but like I think he's by far their most effective player on both ends. Like even around the rim defensively, he had some decent moments, and then offensively also had some decent moments. I can't say, oh wow, I can't say a whole lot about anybody else. Brazil makes a tough three at the buzzer, a high arcing shot. SGA actually contested the shit out of that three, hand in his face. He had to put a lot of arc on that shot just to get it over SGA, and he makes it. So 7 point game. Uh, I think it's 52 to 45 for Canada over Brazil. Uh, Surprisingly, and credit to Brazil, they won that quarter there. I think it was a 10 point game at halftime. It was a 10 point game with 0.1 seconds left on the clock. And then that 3 point shot gave them a 3 point win in that quarter. So they held it down in that quarter. But we're here, 7 point lead. Still in a very good position. Still not feeling threatened by Brazil at all. But we'll see what happens in this fourth quarter. Breakage and play, people. So make sure you get your comments in the chat if you have anything to say. Final quarter. Yeah. Wait, did I say something else? But yeah, fourth quarter upcoming. Did they update this yet? FIBA finally updated the rankings. Oh yeah. No. We're done with the third. Going into the fourth, 7 point game. Oh, of course. I have a question for you. Would you like to see 2K bring back FIBA rosters? Yeah, I think honestly that would be something that gets me back to the game because I stopped playing 2K a while ago. I think it's been like a good 4 to 5 years now. I used to love 2K, and then they started just doing silly stuff. They started making you have to time layups and dunks and whatnot. But whatever, I'll put up with that if you give me FIBA rosters. But also like do it properly and give me the FIBA rules. Let me knock shots off the basket. Let me live in the paint. Give me FIBA rules. Give me FIBA stadiums. Give me FIBA crowds. And And then yeah, give me the rosters and I'll be happy. And actually, I'm not joking. It would bring me back to the game. Now, mind you, I don't know how big of a demographic I'm in that regard. Like, I don't know how many people would come back to 2K just because of FIBA rosters. But I mean, they'd have my business, so that's something. Who knows? Maybe if that happens, 2K, if you're watching, I'll become a Twitch gamer. If you do, I'll get up here and I'll just game. I'll game 2K all the time. Get you guys, little drop in the and drop in the bucket in the way of viewership on Twitch when it comes to gaming with 2K. The video I'm dropping after the game is about 2K and TikTok's influence of the game. That's interesting. That is very interesting. The TikTok part of it, especially. I'll be checking that out. So yeah, people, anybody watching here, check out Basketball Rewind video about 2K and TikTok's influence on the game. We're all basketball fans. You guys have probably played 2K, if not by owning the game, hanging out with somebody that did. Somebody did. Somebody played 2K. So check this video out. If they had a FIBA DLC even. Exactly. Exactly. Basketball Brazil. It is a 4 point game now. 1 minute into the fourth. I missed the. I think maybe they got free throws on their first possession, made one, missed one, and then they got a layup on this last possession. So they've done well to start the fourth. Nikhil with the ball, going around to Kelly Olynyk's screen. Nikhil missing a layup at the basket. And then Olynyk taking a bit of a frustration foul. So this is the thing, right? With this run that Brazil's making right now, just got to keep your head cool. Like, you can't be taking stupid fouls like that. Frankly, like, that reverse layup isn't easy, but like, you got to make it at this point, right? Well, you need that. It wasn't like that contested of a reverse layup. If you were Adam Silver, what would you change if you could change one individual thing? Hold up, Adam Silver. So I'm assuming this question is pertaining to the NBA, or like, because we've left FIBA, or sorry, we've left 2K in the last conversation. This is just about Adam Silver and the NBA, right? If I could change one thing, huh? If I was Adam Silver and I could change one thing. So here's the thing, right? I'm going to assume that I'm not Adam Silver with Adam Silver's interests. I'm Adam Silver with my interests. And honestly, in my interests, I'd have less basketball. I'll be real. I'll find a way to like make basketball more meaningful because in my opinion, the thing that stands out about basketball compared to the other sports that I watch, so I watch soccer and football. In soccer and football, it just feels like the individual games mean more because there's less of them. The stakes are higher. So for something like load management, like a part of it in basketball is like, oh, players don't want to get hurt. But at some point, we have to acknowledge that load management is also because a lot of these games don't mean anything. I've heard Kawhi Leonard say from his own mouth, look, the regular season to me are 82 practices. That's a reasonable way of approaching it. Brazil just made a three, by the way. It's a 1 point game. Like, Canada this bench unit has to figure it out because right now it's Olynyk in the bench, and they are getting gashed. But yeah, so it's like I don't think the players give a shit about a lot of the regular season games. I don't think the fans give a shit about a lot of the regular season games. I think we watch it because we want entertainment and we got to do something, but I don't really, and like, of course people will get frustrated when things go wrong or whatnot, but like, drop it from 82 to like, I don't know, 66, which is the one that gets thrown around a lot, right? Oh, what is Scrub doing? Wait, what did they call there? Let's get some starters on the court, man. Let's get some starters on the court. This is not good. That three at the end of the third definitely gave Brazil some life. But yeah, Brazil shooting free throws to take the lead here because Scrub backed into somebody who had the ball because he was in that bad of a position. SGA and Dylan Brooks have stepped onto the court. The more starters on the court. The bench is out of here. But to quickly wrap this up, yeah, less basketball. In my opinion, what I think is uh a format that I would like, let's just say we expand to 32 teams, right? So that means every team has 31 opponents. Get conferences and divisions out of here because like I don't know. I don't think they're that vital or necessary. And make it a 62 game schedule. Every team plays every other team once, home and away, like soccer style. And I think that would ramp up the importance of every game a little bit. You can keep the tournament format to add some more importance to the beginning of the games. But yeah, just spacing the games out a little bit, I think alleviates the players' need for not need, but their opinion on not playing. Also, it changes the fans' approach to game. I think it would just make the games a little bit more meaningful. And I think that that would result in a better product. Now, this is my thing. I'm talking about my interest as Adam Silver. In Adam Silver's interest, that would never happen. But then maybe you consider is that like to offset the it's tough because I don't think they care in that at that standpoint about the loss of revenue from game days. They would be worried about the loss of revenue and the amount of real estate they occupy on TV networks, um, which is something they'd have to make up there. So I understand why it would never happen. But oh my God, Nikhil hits the backboard on a corner three. My guy, you gotta hit something. You gotta hit the rim. Nikhil has been cold after that first three. But yeah, after the SGA and one, a big and one. Uh, Canada hasn't done much in the way of getting momentum. 99 set a bad screen there on Nikhil. Ball don't lie for sure because that misrepresents the fact that that should have been an offensive foul. Canada going the other way, 2 point game, 5:30 to go. I didn't know that I would be seeing crucial basketball down the stretch in this game. But hey, man, I'm here. I'm here. Gonna enjoy it while I'm here. Another ticky tack foul. Ball gets swiped out of Dwight Powell's hands. SGA or no, out of SGA's hands. Dwight Powell hustles to go get the ball, kind of bumps somebody on the way, and then they call a foul. Look, I think this is the first time we've seen Canada be in a game towards the end of the game like this. So I'm gonna experience what it's like to be a stressed out fan during FIBA basketball games for Team Canada. So look, maybe we didn't sign up for this to happen against Brazil, but we're here. We're about to learn a thing or two. You could have dedicated streaming with Apple or Amazon. See, that's the future, regardless of whether it's the future, regardless of like what people want or think or like hypothesize about things. That's just gonna, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen one day. Streaming is the future. Bruno, pick and roll, gets to look at the rim. 4:50 to go. Tie game, 55-55. Bruno has 15 points of his team's 55. He has over a quarter of his team's points. Bruno is carrying Brazil. Lou Dort getting into the lane, pull up jumper, makes it. Look, you know what I'm saying? Game getting stressful, game not in a good spot. Where do you go? Lou Dort. That's what you do. Lou Dort pull up jumpers. That's how you secure basketball games. 57-55. Brazil, their point guard gets switched on to Dwight Powell. He dusts Dwight Powell. Oh my goodness. So he beats Dwight Powell on his left, and then he like goes to do one of these in the way of Dwight Powell, right in front of his face. Dwight Powell obviously goes through his body, and then a foul gets called, and that's annoying because at the end of the day, while he had a step on Dwight Powell, he's so much smaller that if Dwight Powell just plays that properly, instead of just like, it's tough. Like, he's gonna scramble back because he's a step behind, but he just doesn't have to like go through him like that. He's going to go to the free throw line. Dwight Powell has to get subbed out of the game. Those fouls at the beginning of the third, even though the run didn't happen then, I think it's kind of impacting this game a little bit. It's dictating like it's dictating the physicality. I think Canada isn't being as physical right now as Brazil, or isn't allowed to be, but it is what it is. 57-57, 4 minutes to go. I was talking cash shit at halftime. This game is not the game that I expected to be in the second half. Like, okay, what Bruno just did against Olynyk, if that happened the other way, they're calling that SGA, step back three, misses the rim, gets all backboard. Canada looks a little bit flustered right now between the miss that Nikhil had, the miss that SGA just had, the other miss that Nikhil had. A lot of sloppy moments. Now Brazil is calling for a foul because I think they know that they've been getting these calls as of late. But that's not a foul. Ball goes out of bounds. Actually, I can't lie. I just saw a different angle. That could have been a foul on SGA. He's a little aggressive with that swipe. Pull up three from Brazil, misses. RJ with the rebound. RJ going the other way. 3.5 minutes to go. We're in crunch time, people. SGA. Oh, what? SGA had the matchup on a big. I think he clearly got fouled. They didn't call anything. Or at least it didn't look like they called anything. Now it looks like Canada's inbounding the ball. Because when SGA got up, he was looking at the ref and you can read his lips. He said, that's a foul. It looked like they didn't call anything initially, but now, okay, so the referee behind this situation did, but the referee in front of it didn't. Make that make sense. SGA, step back in the lane, gets it to fall. 59-57. Watching SGA, I feel the same like safety blanket that I felt watching Kawhi. And the reason is like his spot is his spot, and you know it. You know the parts of like the mid range that he's gonna make shots from at a very high rate. I know it. He knows it. The other team knows it. The whole world knows where he's trying to get. He's just gonna get there and make the shot. It's that simple. It's not this like incredibly like unpredictable game. It's not this incredibly complex game. It's as simple as I'm going to get to my spot and I'm going to make the shot. Like, I'm not going to do this. And that's the thing about having a mid-range game like that, is that like nobody aggressively defends a mid-range game. If you aggressively try to take away SGA's mid-range looks, he'll just use it against you to get to the lane. But yeah, it happens so often. Like, of course the misses will come, but the makes happen at a very high rate from a lot of the same spots over and over and over again. SGA's got 23 points today. Germany. Brazil with the ball, down two. I mean, they're down two, 59-57. Sam asks, were you able to watch? It seems blacked out for me. I'm watching on Sportsnet. I believe all the Sportsnet channels looked like they had the game. Brazil tied it up 59-59. If you're unable to watch the game, you can tune into this. At least I'll be talking you through what happens. But that is 17 points from Bruno now. 17 of his team's 59. The guy's approaching on having a third of his team's baskets. RJ misses a shot at the rim. RJ, you got to have that. RJ's had a rough day offensively, 59-59, 2 minutes to go. Again, I did not expect to see high intensity, stressful basketball from this game, but I am. And Bruno is actually dominating. The fouls on Dwight Powell taking him out of the game are a big part of what's going on. Uh, we've lost the physicality battle under the rim. Part of that was Dwight Powell losing against Bruno as well, but he legitimately is now bullying whoever we put on him right now. And he's about to shoot free throws to take the lead with 2:08 to go in the fourth. And it just seems like we don't have a response for a guy who has his physicality with his length in terms of wingspan and at his height. And just generally, like for a guy that size, he moves decently well. I don't know what they're reviewing here. Are they going to review a unsportsmanlike foul here? Oh, of course, because he grabbed his face, but I don't think he actually got hit. Like hard. Also, that does line up with where the ball's at. The ball's just above it. That is a play on the ball. But yeah, people, as they do this review, this nonsense review that shouldn't be taking this long, but it would be detrimental if they call an unsportsmanlike foul here. Um, As always, shout out to everybody watching live. Shout out to anybody watching this on replay. As a viewer on YouTube, you have the ability to make channels bigger on YouTube. By engaging with the content, you prompt YouTube's algorithm to push the content to other people. So if you enjoy what you're watching, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. What did they call? No, just two free throws. Yeah, subscribe to the channel. Get your comments in, share the videos, and get active in the chat if you're watching live. These are things that prompt YouTube's algorithm to push the video to other people, and that's how channels get bigger. So that is very much something that's in your control. So if you enjoy what's happening, make sure you get around to doing that. Bruno is shooting 2 free throws to give Brazil a lead against Canada. Bruno makes the first one. And Bruno, with 18 points, misses the second free throw. So 1 point lead for Brazil. Canada gets the rebound. SGA with the ball. Olynyk gets the ball, goes around a Dylan Brooks screen, gets it to Lou Dort in the corner. Lou Dort goes around a bunch of defenders, and honestly, I think he turned it over, but they're giving Canada the ball. I think he tried to get a pass into somebody, and it went off a Brazilian hand, off of him, and then out of bounds, but I don't think they saw that, so Canada will inbound the ball. SGA inbounding the ball, 6 seconds left on the shot clock. The ball gets inbounded into Olynyk, who bullies his way to the basket, misses the shot, gets it up again. He missed the rim during both opportunities, and it is Brazil ball. So Brazil has the ball, 142 with a 1 point lead. This is a big defensive possession for Canada because forget the score, they need some momentum. They need something to just settle them down, because the level of sloppiness that I've seen from the offense down the stretch, I would say the half of the third going into the fourth has been incredibly frustrating. Canada is challenging this call. I don't have the audio of the game, so I don't know exactly what they're challenging. I don't know if they're challenging that a foul or just possession of the ball. But this is a big challenge. If you're watching the game with the audio and you know what exactly the challenge is, you can put it in the chat. Man, oh man, this would be an incredibly bad loss. Not in the way of like how like the repercussions for a loss, but just a game that that's in your hands like this. Canada up 10 at halftime. Had the whole third to extend the lead, couldn't quite do it. It was a 10-point game going into the last possession of the third. Brazil hits the buzzer-beating three, a heavily contested three that falls to make it a 7-point game. And then they go into the fourth with momentum. And I'll be real, the referees were terrible, and I mean terrible, at different parts during the second half. But that's not an excuse. Um, and it's not an excuse because that's ultimately a part of sports. Like, bad refereeing happens regularly. So with something that happens regularly, learning to cope with it is a part of the game, unfortunately. But it is. So I want to see I don't want to see that become something that results in a loss for Canada, but it's not looking good right now. They're reviewing it right now. That should be Canada ball, but also that might be a shot clock violation. I don't know. I don't know what happened first. It does go off that guy's face, unprompted. No Canadian player hits that. That bounced that way because it went off a Brazilian guy's face. So this is definitely off the Brazilian player and out of bounds. I just don't know if a shot clock violation happened before all of that happened. Oh, Canada ball. Big challenge by Jordy. Big challenge. Big result. 142 to go. Canada's down one. We need a basket right now. I need a SGA ISO possession clear out because I said this in the first half, right? A way we've steadied basketball games down is SGA getting to the free throw line. When he gets into like 8 to 10 feet from the rim, he does a very good job of being the first person to react as he's dribbling when people swipe at the ball. Somebody swipes at the ball, they usually get nothing or they get a foul. So put Brazil in that position. Get into that part of the court where he makes a lot of shots, make somebody foul you, get to the free throw line, settle the game down. It's our first moment of seeing what a big Jordi Fernandez inbounds play looks like. So we'll see. It's from an awkward position. It's from the baseline. This isn't where NBA teams like inbounding the basketball. Ball gets inbound into Olynyk. Oh my god. So ball gets inbound into Olynyk, who just goes up, misses the shot. RJ gets the rebound, goes up, misses the shot. Lou Dort gets the rebound, gets fouled. So Lou Dort free throws. Earlier in this fourth quarter, when shit was going bad, when it was tied earlier, I think it was 56 or something, a Lou Dort jumper is what got us the lead back. Timer ran out before Brazil possession. Referees operating. See, this is what I was wondering. I felt like that could have been a shot clock violation. Lou Dort with big free throws now, 136 to go. We have Lou Dort at the free throw line with the game in the balance. Let's see what happens. All right. Lou Dort, first free throw. Misses it. It bounced around. He missed it. Second free throw for the tie. Olynyk and Dwight Powell are on the bench right now. Okay. Lou Dort has 16. I know he made a couple big shots. I did not know he had 16. Lou Dort, second free throw, makes it. Tie game, 60-60, 136 to go. Why did this have to be so stressful? Why did they have to do this? All right. Brazil with the ball. Melvin Edgem is in the game. Who's guarding Bruno? SGA is guarding Bruno? Okay, we must just be switching everything. RJ now, SGA back. They're double teaming Bruno in the post. Iago Santos gets the basket to fall. 1:14 to go. Brazil is up 2. Bruno was completely denied on that possession, and their point guard made a play. It is what it is. You live with it. ISO Shea looks to be the call. Step back 3, misses the 3. Offensive rebound by Canada. Back out to SGA, 57 seconds to go. SGA, another ISO possession. Everybody is clearing out. He gets to the basket, draws the defender. Lou Dort in the corner, goes baseline, kicks it to Dylan Brooks outside. Back to Lou Dort in the corner. Makes the 3. Oh my God. Right before the shot clock goes off. What? Are they calling a shot clock violation? No, review that. Nah. Review that. That possession was frantic. That possession was frantic. They got the ball to Lou Dort in the corner with like a second to go, but I think he got that off. Oh, that's tight. That's tight. Shit, that's tight. Let me see another replay. Let me see another replay. That might have been on his hands. Oh, if that's on his hands, yeah, it's on his hands. That's not a three. That's barely on his hands. If he had like 2/10 of a second more, he would have made that. Sloppy possessions down the stretch, man. Sloppy possessions down the stretch. You can see that Canada hasn't played any high stakes possessions because just the execution of whatever they have drawn up has not been good. That possession was okay, but it took too long. It took too long. So SGA had the clear out initially, collapsed the defense, found Lou Dort in the corner, went baseline. Like a lot of the decisions were okay, right? Lou Dort went baseline, kicked it to Dylan Brooks, who then swung it, I think, back to Lou Dort. All that was fine. It just took too long. That first possession with the SGA step back three, like it's fine. It was a fine shot, but you have to make it. Brazil with the ball. Iago goes around Dylan Brooks, gets the basket to fall. 26 seconds to go. Brazil up 4. Dylan Brooks just getting blown by at the end. Like what? Like Dylan Brooks, if you're on the court, you're on the court to not get blown by. That's your own whole job. And look, we had both our centers off the court, Dwight Powell and Kelly Olynyk, both off the court. So nobody was at the rim to contest it. That is really bad. This has been a really bad game. And like, if this is what Canada is capable of doing, this is a very hard lesson to learn that needs to be learned because you cannot be blowing games like this. You cannot be having this much of an edge on a team for so long in a game and through complacency, just let a lead fall away. This is nonsense. I guess like these games can stretch out. So if you get a quick bucket here and play the free throw game, we'll see what happens. But this is ugly. This is ugly. This is an ugly finish. Lots of terrible execution. Lots of just unsettled basketball. Like guys just looking nervous and nervous and like what's the best word? Like rattled in the moment. Bro, I mean, last quarter and a half, that's been what it's been. Brazil literally just like they had a lot more dog in them down the last quarter and a half, which is like the best way to articulate it. Like maybe a bit of an oversimplified point, but the best way to articulate it. They just wrestled the game back. Inbound play took oh wow. if you guys need an example of Canada's play down the stretch, look no further than that inbounds play. Ball gets inbounded to Olynyk. SGA is approaching him, and then I think I don't know what the plan was, but Olynyk basically passed the ball, and SGA went the other way. So then SGA has to then scramble to save it from going out of bounds because it was going to be a turnover. And then when he passes it back, when he saves it to Olynyk then finds Lou Dort underneath the rim. So it's like, wow, disaster happened, but at least Lou Dort's underneath the rim. What does he do? He doesn't catch the ball cleanly. And for what it's worth, the pass wasn't perfect, but he doesn't catch the ball cleanly. Ball hits the ground. So now his defender is back like beside him, and now he no longer has an open shot. Then he attempts to pass it to the corner, and there's a turnover. That's a terrible, like literally a bunch of different mistakes happened. Why no Jamal Murray? He's injured. He is injured and he's not playing. But yeah, Dylan Brooks with the ball inbounding, and he gets a dunk. He gets an emphatic dunk because that matters right now. But yeah, this is something that Canada has to bounce back from. But aside from bouncing back from it, this is just something that where like you got exposed. You got exposed. Every high leverage possession at the end, you got exposed. Oh wow, the dunk didn't even count because they fouled him before. They fouled him before. But yeah, man. Shout out to everybody watching live. This has not been fun. This has not been enjoyable. We're not in good shape right now in this game. Down 4 with 10 seconds to go. A lot of people got to look at themselves for what happened today. I think if this is something that is a thing because of like essentially the first time, like like this is the first time you had to play meaningful minutes down a stretch, and that's why this was this sloppy. Fine, it's okay. A lot of the times teams encounter the first of any kind of situation, sometimes mishandle it. That's okay. If this becomes a regular thing, if this is just a part of what this team is, this does not bode well at all. I've seen some outrageous decision making down the stretch. I've seen some just very uncharacteristic shot misses. I've seen um like some bad defending from players that defend well. A lot of disappointing stuff. Bruno Caboclo at the end of the day outplayed our centers. He gave our centers a lot more problems than they gave him. And the fact that that is something we struggled with is crazy. Like, think about it. We played Rudy Gobert, and Bruno Caboclo gave us so many more problems than Rudy Gobert. But this is what it is, people. This is the beauty of FIBA basketball. The game is different. Outcomes can be different and unexpected. And at the end of the day, you fuck around, you find out, right? Like you mess around with teams, you don't finish teams off when you have the opportunity, you don't treat teams with the respect that they deserve. This is what happens. Brazil obviously makes a shot because that's all they've done down the stretch, 68-62, 6-point lead for Brazil. RJ Barrett makes a 3 now. It's about time. It's about time we got a 3 from you, RJ, or anything from you this game. But yeah, man. Bad game from RJ. Generally a good game from SGA. Good game from Lou Dort. Bad game from Dylan Brooks. Bad game from Dwight Powell. Rough, okay game from Olynyk. So game from Nikhil. Am I missing anybody? Fairly non-existent game from Melvin Ejim. And I think that's about it. Oh, Scrub played. Scrub was average. So yeah, this is what it is, people. A lot of very few good performances from individuals today. Very poor handling of the situation. When you have a double-digit lead for as much as you've had in this game, things should not happen like this. And look, that three-point shot that Brazil made at the buzzer at the end of the third, it lit a fire in them that Canada just did not deal with. And this is the thing about FIBA games is that teams like Brazil, when they get those kind of moments and they show up like with a different level of intensity and like motivation and drive, you have to deal with that because that's their thing. Like, they're not going to beat you with like overwhelming talent. They're not going to beat you with like impossible shot making to deal with. They're going to beat you by doing good, basic, fundamental things at a high level and playing with passion. That's the thing you have to be able to cope with. You have to be able to basically meet that with the same thing. When Brazil shows up and really tries to like play, like when they try to punch you in the face, you got to punch back. So um, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why this game hasn't officially ended yet. I think somebody fouled somebody. But yeah, bad result for Canada. Very bad result for Canada. And now Canada is all of a sudden in a must win against Spain. People, that simple or like that quickly, we are now in an elimination game against Spain on Sunday. So that game that could have been a comfortable thing that you didn't even necessarily have to win, and for a matchup that some fans could maybe even choose to not want to win, that is now as high stakes as it could get. And not only that, this is a situation where if Brazil beats Latvia, which I would anticipate like should be a very good game. If Brazil beats Latvia, we lose we don't have the head to head against Brazil. We could get the second place spot just out of circumstance. So, hey, we could be ducking USA by accident. But yeah, it's what it is, people. 0 0.4 to go. I think Brazil is shooting free throws, which is hilarious to think that we can even get a 3-point shot off with 0 0.4 to go. And if Bruno misses the second shot here, it's hilarious to think that we could even get a rebound and get a shot off in anything more than 0.4. And Bruno makes the second free throw. Down 4, Canada takes a timeout for some reason. I don't know why we're extending this basketball game, but we are. That's what I'm saying, Kenyon. That's what I'm saying. This is ugly down the stretch. And look, all that talk we were doing at halftime about the situation and what could be happening and whatnot, it's all irrelevant. It's all irrelevant now because Spain is a must-win game. Spain is a playoff game now all of a sudden. For what it's worth, ultimately, I liked how we looked against Spain. I talked about how earlier, like the way we treated Brazil at the start of the game is not something we would do later. Like, hopefully, when we play against teams that we know can beat us, we don't approach it with the same complacency. So, an elimination game against Spain, I'm assuming there's going to be no complacency. So, I hope they get started from the very beginning and they start out hot and they stay hot. But yep, Brazil 69, Canada 65, first loss of the tournament, a very bitter loss, a loss that I think a lot of people will. It takes the sting out of what the tournament has been so far, but sometimes at the end of tournaments, you look at games like this and you say, look, somebody had to show us that was possible, so that we knew it was possible for the end of the tournament. Ultimately, the part of the tournament that matters the most. So I'll be wrapping up here. Again, shout out to everybody watching live. Shout out to everybody watching on the replay. If you're tuning in, make sure you support the content because that helps the channel grow. That helps the content go further. Bad result, bad game, but we will bounce back, people. Sunday is a watch long for Spain. That game is huge, so make sure you show up again. We'll be doing this the same way I've been doing it for all these games, and we'll endure that game together. Catch you guys around.